Welcome to ChiroSecure's Empowering Women in Chiropractic, the Facebook Live show for successful women by successful women, proving once again women make it happen. Join us each week as we bring you the best in business growth, practice management, social media marketing, networking, leadership, and lots more. If it's about women in practice and business, you'll hear it here. Join today's host, Dr. Nathalie Beauchamp, as she talks impact, exposure, and systems. And now, here's Dr. Nathalie.
Hi there, this is Dr. Nathalie Beauchamp. I will be your host today for our show, Empowering Women in Chiropractic, brought to you by ChiroSecure. I'm super excited today because I do have a guest, somebody that I've known for a couple of years now, and this is Dr. Heather Cardin. So, Heather, nice to have you on the show. How are you?
I am fantastic, and thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Well, we've got you and I. Usually, when we get on the phone, we talk for an hour. So we'll have to be concise and go to town for a shorter time. But tons of questions I want to ask you, Heather. But let's start with the first one. Tell us a little bit more about you. And you've had some health challenges in the past year. So if you wouldn't mind sharing that with the listener, because I know I'm inspired by you being a chiropractor and seeing, your strength to, do what you do all day with the challenges that you have. So go ahead.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you for letting me be here. It's always a blessing to share good health information. So like Dr. Nathalie said, my name is Dr. Heather Cardin. I have been practicing just a little bit over 20 years. I practice at Cardin Center for Wellness alongside my husband. We have a full variety wellness center in Overland Park, Kansas. We have lots of tools in our pocket, chiropractic. We do some brain-based balance. We do neurofeedback, biofeedback, acupuncture, ionic foot baths, a lot of nutrition work. We have a full lab testing from blood, serum to stool. So we really get to the bottom of what's happening in your body to cause those imbalances. So what we do is really try to keep it simple, identify the imbalances, and then free the interferences so the body can heal itself when it has the proper environment. So the second question, Dr. Nathalie, was what is my health challenge? So 4.5 years ago, I was in a skiing accident. I was on my annual mother-son ski trip. I've been skiing for 40 years. And had just a really weird fall that ended up crushing my right ankle and foot. And what we thought was just a minor fracture. And they had told me I wasn't going to be able to run for 9 months. And I thought I was devastated that I couldn't go run or kickbox for 9 months because, as you know, I'm super active. Also a mother of 4 children. What quickly developed into a very rare neurological disease, which is called RSD, which is reflex sympathetic dystrophy, or called chronic regional pain syndrome. As you know, Nat, as a doctor, there is no cure for this. There are a line of therapy treatments you can use, which are pharmaceutical interventions. And I have done things, even doing some inpatient and ICU treatments that didn't work. This is called the suicide disease because people eventually end up dying from RSD. It causes muscular weakness. In November of 2014, they actually told me I had about 29 months to live. I tried for about 30 seconds and then I didn't believe them. And I knew that the body had the innate capability to heal itself. So I seeked out the top health professionals around the world, from Dr. Carrick, who is one of the top neurologists, chiropractor as well, at the Carrick Brain Center, spent several weeks there. But fast forwarding, I quickly put myself into a ketogenic diet because I knew ketones can preserve lean muscle mass. I know they actually help feed the brain at a much higher, more efficient level than glucose. I also wanted to maintain my body fat and muscle mass as I was going through all this treatment. So I'm still here today. So I far exceed what they had expected me to do. It definitely made a big shift in my practice. I took a big detour, so to speak. So I am still in a wheelchair, but I am taking some steps. I'm walking a little bit. Again, I'm still here. They said I wouldn't be. All my tremors, my tics, my seizures have all gone away. And so what this detour gave me as a female practitioner is a new platform, things like social media and reaching hundreds of thousands of people just to share basic health information. If you do the math in the clinic and you're treating 20 patients a day, 5 days a week, 20 years, I was never going to reach my goal, which was helping 1 million people before I leave this earth. So that big detour gave me a brand new platform to connect with amazing people like you and really let people know that whatever the detour is that you're given, know that you can overcome that. Our body is an amazing, intelligent unit, which means when you give it the proper platform, whether it's mind, body, chemical, physical, you remove those interferences, the body can start to optimally heal itself. So that's a little bit about me in a nutshell over the past 20 years. But, you know, like you said, what inspires you is I'm not giving up. I don't believe what they said. I am still here and I'm ignoring what they had projected. So I do want people to know that this is Suicide Awareness Month, which means, again, this is the highest pain disease that people have, even higher than amputation, higher than cancer on the McGill study. And know that, again, it's called the suicide disease because people just get tired of fighting the pain because the drugs don't work. And what happens is they don't know that the body can heal itself. They don't know that there's other natural therapies that you can do to facilitate that optimal healing.
So was your practice, let's say 4 years ago, a lot different than what it is now, knowing what you know and, you know, not being able to physically adjust like you used to? So I'm assuming it shifted, it has shifted quite a bit, right?
Yep. Absolutely, because there was a time where I wasn't practicing and I was only able to read about 5 words a minute. So not only could I stand, I couldn't read well enough to actually do acupuncture. We know that those are tiny significant points that you must read and to read labs or to interpret labs. So yes, my practice has had a big shift. I just called a detour. We took a different route. So my husband does the physical adjusting and does all the acupuncture, whether it's needle or lasering. And then I do all of the functional wellness, from interpreting lab reports, stool analysis, to creating treatment plans. Now we can connect. 4 years ago, we couldn't do a lot of medical nutritional advice online, and now we can do that. Yeah. So definitely helping a lot more people in a different way.
Yeah. So with this detour, it got you connected with the ketogenic diet, ketones, and kind of, I think you discovered a company that really resonated with you. And one of the reasons I want to bring this up is, you know, I'm sure I'm not the only one that gets approached all the time as a doctor to, you know, endorse a product or carry a product and so forth. And I know throughout the years, well, I do carry some products at the clinic, but I've got approached by different companies, and, you know, I just, again, I'm an entrepreneur at heart, so I don't mind network marketing. I don't mind. I think it's brilliant for people to start a small business from their home and so forth. So, you know, how did you get involved with the company, and how are you using it and leveraging it to merge your passion? Because now, knowing what you know for yourself, I'm sure you want to help a lot of people that maybe don't have necessarily your type of disease, but have metabolic issues and so forth. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've always taught a low carb, high fat / ketogenic diet over the 20 years of our practice. My husband and I would have little clinic sessions on Saturday mornings when people were not talking about putting butter on your broccoli or having chia seed pudding or butter on your steak. So we've been practicing this for 20 years. We've recommended the ketogenic diet as an adjunctive therapy for people who are trying to overcome big medical health issues. Well, I knew it preserved lean muscle mass. So what happened is someone reached out to me because I'd written several articles. I participated in KC Fit magazine as a medical advisor teaching a low carb, high fat diet. The company Prove It, the CEO reached out and said, hey, would you help us just do some FAQs? Like, tell us the truth about what ketones are. We know that they're natural to our body. It's an energy source. Could you just take a little bit of time and just help answer some FAQs? Well, at this time I had a couple spinal surgeries. Mentally, I needed to work. Mentally, I needed to help people, but physically that was not an option for me. So it gave me an amazing therapy session to actually help people, teach them about the ketogenic diet. Then the company said, let's do some Monday night webinars and quick Q&As. Well, that quickly maxed out. Let's do Periscope. We quickly maxed that out. Let's do some Facebook Live and tell people what ketones are. We've studied the ketogenic diet for over 100 years. We know what they do in the body. So we look at these Facebook Lives reaching over 100,000 people every other Wednesday, or there's other specialists that do it. So what it has done is enabled me to help other healthcare practitioners implement this into their clinics as well. In the US, we know that insurance controls our market. What I know now, though, is that through network marketing or through an amazing company like Prove It, if I help you help your thousands of patients and one of your doctor friends helps them, 1 + 1 = 1,000. So our ripple effect is a much bigger tsunami wave in that blue ocean of us helping people help others. Because again, before in a little brick and mortar, one by one, I'm not helping very many people. This is a much global. So that's exactly how that went. They said, hey, we have a powder, puts your body in ketosis. I was having difficulty getting in natural ketosis because of the pain, because my sleep was irregular. And because of some of the stress I was going through, just mental, emotional, not being able to walk. And so adding pure therapeutic exogenous ketones bumped up my level of ketones, which has really significantly increased my ability for my body to really heal.
That's good. And I think one of the key thing with any company we choose to go with, the products have to be congruent with your lifestyle and all the products. Because I know in the past, I've carried different companies because I like part of their products, but I wasn't so keen on others. So I know from my experience, and with the company you're with, it's all ketone related products. So it's congruent with you, and I think that's why sometimes chiropractors can become a bit jaded, say, oh, gee, I tried, it didn't work. Well, you have to be passionate about it. And I think you're the perfect example because you use it for you saw the amazing result and you just wanted to share it. Because if it's not congruent or if they have products that you don't agree with, then it's just not going to work. So what would you say to other practitioners that are being approached? What should we look for when we are approached by a company? And do you have any tips? Because sometimes I think people stop 3 feet from goal kind of thing and don't give it enough time. So tell us your journey with a network marketing company.
So I, like you, I've been approached by dozens of other companies. We carry nutraceuticals in our office for things that we find out of balance on lab work. But I knew what ketones did in the body. I've studied it. I've taught it. I know how hard the diet can be and how stressful it can be. So when you're looking at a company to implement or supplement your income or facilitate what you're already doing in your office, look for the education, look for the thought leaders behind it. So I actually was sitting next to Dr. Ken Ford, who's retired from NASA, Nobel Peace Prize winner. Dr. Angela Papa is on stage right now speaking about high levels of ketones. So when you look at a company, who's backing it, who's behind it, are they transparent? Are they leading with education? And does it in alignment with what you're doing? And as a chiropractor, we focus on our brain and nervous system. Ketones are the optimal fuel for our brain. As we age, we lose the inability to uptake glucose, but we very efficiently go back to our native fuel source, which is ketones. High-level athletes are in ketosis. So we look at peak performance, whether you're a mom, a doctor, or whatever you choose to be, we know that we always want to function optimally. I kind of like it like a Mercedes. You wouldn't put just the lower octane gas in there. You put the high octane fuel. Ketones are the higher octane fuel. So it is very congruent with what we teach. Ketones downregulate our nervous system. They help balance it out with specific neurotransmitters. So it really is an alignment as a chiropractor with what we do. And as a functional medicine doctor, we look at this cellular level. Ketones give energy. They give oxygen, which is so important. We can only go 3 minutes without oxygen. So it gives more oxygen and more ATP, which is a fuel for our cells at that cellular level. So for a chiropractor, it made just perfect sense that in order to optimize our patients, then we actually need to help their fuel source so their body can have the strength to start healing at that cellular level.
And I think just listening to you, it reminds me that, it is congruent to what you've been doing. And I think where it may look kind of weird or out of place is if a chiropractor has nothing and suddenly just implements a product and it's not congruent with their protocol. I think there might be an issue. But if it's just, like you said, an adjunct tool that you're promoting, I mean, it's the quality is there. How do you integrate it in the practice per se? Because you and I have, you've done longer fasting than I have. I'm still a bit of a rookie at it, but understanding the benefit of fasting, and how are you guiding your patients? I think you and Rolf do like classes and things like that, right?
Yep. So we've always done wellness workshops, whether it's talking about healthy fats, whether it's olive oil, coconut oil, talking about salt, talking about the importance of getting your body moving. So for 20 years, we've always done wellness workshops. We've had no sugar challenges, cut out the processed meat. So this was really easy to do. We use the ketones as a tool. We know sugar is highly addictive, more addictive than cocaine. We know it's inflammatory in every single cell in our body, and inflammation is the cause of all lifestyle diseases. So people who have trouble controlling their sugar, we know that the ketones downregulate that. They actually inhibit some of our craving molecules. So whether it is a person coming in with chronic pain, we just have them simply drink it instead of your other non-water beverage. It's that simple. If you're tired, you drink it 30 minutes before your normal adrenal fatigue time, which is 1 to 3. If you're an athlete trying to perform better, then you're going to drink it 30 minutes before. So we simply just have people drink it 30 minutes before you want to feel better, or when you start to get hungry, but it's in alignment with inflammation. And we see a lot of chronic inflammation, as you do, in our office. But we start talking about concussions, and Dr. Mary Newport is going to be here talking about CTEs and TBIs. We know what happens. And with Alzheimer's, she's got 2 amazing books on Alzheimer's and a ketogenic diet, that we, again, lose the ability to uptake glucose, and Alzheimer's is type 3 diabetes. So we just pick different topics in our clinic, whether it's fat loss, whether it's brain health and cognition, whether it's Alzheimer's, dementia, whether it's sports performance, or just, trying to have better energy, not being fatigued, because fatigue is the number one reason people go to the doctor. We get our energy from the food that we eat. So we use it as a tool to help get rid of sugar in place of cutting other things. And then as we talk about fasting and intermittent fasting more specifically, people are on autopilot to just wake up and eat, right? It's noon, I eat. I wake up, I shower, I eat. And the question is, this helps them identify, are you absolutely hungry? Like, why are you eating before you go to bed? You don't need to feed to sleep. So it really helps optimize our health. We know there's more nerves in our gut than our spinal cord. So if we can put our feeding time into an 8-hour window instead of a 14-hour window, then our nervous system can have a better chance of actually calming down, resting, repairing, restoring, and rejuvenating. So hopefully that answered that question.
Yeah, it does. And I can't remember who I had this discussion with, but, I've been in practice 23 years. I think you're right around that time, right? And the results we used to get 23 years ago, when people were not so chemically exposed to so much, are different. So I know myself, I knew that I needed to add some elements to my practice to help support the lifestyle, because, if people are so toxic and so inflamed, there's so much we can do. Yes, always at my office, and you and I have had this discussion, chiropractic first, clear the interference, clear the nervous system, but how else can we support our patients? Because they're lost. And, I'm in Canada, you're in the States, but, people feel like they need somebody to hold their hand. So for the chiropractors who are listening that are passionate about lifestyle, for, a great lifestyle for themselves and their family, I find it's almost a shame that we don't share what we do, the chiropractic lifestyle, because that's part of who we are. That's part of how we live our lives. So, some people may say that they prefer to, focus solely on the nervous system, and that's fine. But I think a lot of people are lost and are looking for the guidance. So if you can integrate that, and I'm guessing you made it in a protocol that was fairly easy for you guys to leverage as well, right?
Yes. And I help a lot of chiropractors. They'll just Zoom me into their office, or we'll just Zoom their patients in, just like we're doing here. And I'll simply just do a basic keto 101. What are ketones? Sugar versus fat. We keep it very simple because there's only 3 macronutrients. We only have 2 fuel sources. So the chiropractors have been very open to say, can you just help share that with my patients? So I love that we're coming together and working together, because we know that we all have different talents and tools and resources. Yeah. And if we can come together, we can build a healthier community.
Yeah. I'm speaking at the Prosperity Summit next week, and the end of my presentation is pretty much about that, is collaboration. I can't adjust, people in your community and vice versa, but how else as chiropractor can we help support each other? And like you said, we all have our strengths and so forth. And I think there's so much more that we can do. And medicine, traditional medicine, does a good job at it because they'll have specialties, a GI doctor and this type of doctor. So we have some of it in our profession, but I think, there's so much more that we can do to leverage each other and our strength. That's key. That's key.
Yeah. And I think oftentimes familiarity leads to deaf ears. So your patients have heard you for 20 some years.
Just like I'm treating,
right? I know. Yeah. And I'm treating third generation. So it's been an amazing result, whether I'm zoomed in or I zoom you in, or I have you come and share with my community, like our low carb convention. I'm like, Nathalie, could you just hop on? Let's talk about little hacks that we can do every day, because again, just hearing it from someone else can trigger that. And we just need to be open and let our guard down. And connection is the cure to helping build a healthier community.
Yeah, connection. And also today I was adjusting this morning and I got the nicest hug from an 80-year-old man who, just started in the office, and I get goosebumps. It's just, how lucky are we that people can value us so much, and then that touch, that connection. And social media is great, but there is something that has to be said with face to face or connecting with someone and so forth. So thank you so much, Heather. Our time is already up. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your inspiration, because I'm sure being in a wheelchair, traveling, you've come to visit me at my home, and I know that it's not an easy thing, but I love the fact that you're on a mission to help others. And I think I know that this is what drives you. So thank you very much for tuning in to this show, Empowering Women in Chiropractic. And next week, our host will be Dr. Julie McLaughlin. And she will be sharing her wisdom, most likely with a guest as well. So thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great day.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Join us each week as we bring you the best in business growth, practice management, social media marketing, networking, leadership, and lots more. If it's about women in practice and business, you'll hear it here. We hope you enjoyed this week's Facebook Live event. Please like us on Facebook, comment, and share. We look forward to seeing all of you next week for another episode of Empowering Women in Chiropractic. Now, go ahead and hit the share button and tell your friends and colleagues about the show. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day. This has been a ChiroSecure production.